Hey guys. Okay, this is different. I know, it's different. So we're podcasting now. What? Okay, so this is an assignment for what I'm going to school for. As you know I love school. I'm a professional student, right? No, but still, for real. So I love school, and so I'm going to school for sports psychology, sports medicine, all that good stuff, right? So my professor, Dr. K, love it. I love this assignment because it got me outside of my box and thinking about, I already have a YouTube channel. Why not podcast on Sundays about sports and things that, we can do with the athletes and different sport events, and even have people on here that like physical therapists or people that actually like ADs and people who actually deal with sports. So let's get started. And look, we don't have any music yet. This is just like a little rough draft, and your guys going to get like the rough draft of it. So thanks, Dr. K. So here's the thing. We're going to call it Sports Sunday. I know. That's so good, right? That's so good. Okay, maybe not. But here we go. First thing that we're going to be talking about is a theory that I learned this week for school. And look, I don't even know how to say this guy's name, but anyway, we're calling it attentional control theory. So the sport that I'm going to choose, because we have to choose a sport and, talk about it and see what's intentional, external, things that helps or what happens intentionally, attentional based with that sport and whatever event in that sport, right? So I chose track and field, of course, because not only am I track and field head coach for the school that I work with, but also I used to run track and field. I did the 110 hurdles events, and I just ran, I was a sprinter and things like that. And so it takes a lot of skill to be able to just be a part of the track team, right? So let's get started. Attentional control theory, right? What is it? What's going on? What's happening with that? So one thing was we had to describe the sport that we were going to talk about. So track and field. So track and field, it includes athletes that are pretty much running based, right? But if we're talking about and then also jumping and throwing skills. But if we're talking about the hurdles, well, obviously we have to have the jumping skills in there, right? So here's the thing. And if you catch me looking this way, it's because I have my notes on this side. Look, this is the first podcast. You're probably just hearing it. You can't really see it, but you're going to see it because I'm going to be posting it on my YouTube. But I'm going to have my notes and I'm going to have all my stuff later. And maybe, I don't know, maybe this could be a big thing and we could have this podcast on Spotify or something, but maybe not really, but still, either way. Okay, so track and field, it's a sport where we have runners and we have people that have skills in running, jumping, and throwing, right? So when I think about hurdling, I think that, that takes a lot of more focus and more skill in a sense, because you have to not only run fast, but you have to be able to run fast to be able to have the agility enough to also jump over some hurdles. Okay, so you can't really see me because I'm sitting down. But if those people who know me, I've been 5'1" for God knows how long, all of my life, right? Most of my life. And so I think in like middle school, maybe 8th grade, I don't know, all throughout my life, mostly 5'1" and still 5'1". But okay, as a 5'1" runner / hurdler, it was a lot of things that were like, that took me to not really have like the skill set that everybody really wants me to have as a hurdler. So I had to practice a lot, right? So I thought about it for my own self, but also for the hurdlers that we have in our own track team right now, currently, right? So hurdling, in a sense, we have to have like so much focus on what exactly it is that we have to do. Not only do we have to race, like I said, this is a 110 meter dash. This is fast. This has to be really quick, right? But then also the 300 meter dash, that has to be quick. So a lot of the people that go to like regional states and things like that, they have like a, like 13, 18, 20 second hurdle, 110 hurdle, regardless, of whatever it is, that we're trying to do. Like, and then the 300, it's like 45 seconds. Like it's pretty crazy, right? So imagine this. Imagine you being a hurdler, an athlete, that this is your skill because this is something that you want to perfect. This is something that you love, right? And for myself, there's a fixed distance between the hurdle and the part that I have to run, right? So when I used to run and then jump over that hurdle, I had to be focused on, all right, here we go, girl, go fast as you can. And you have to pretty much timing your steps in order to be able to jump successfully over that hurdle, right? Because a lot of the times, look, let me tell you that, but when I began doing the hurdles, like I used to fall over them, I used to kick them, they used to fall. It was a whole mess, okay? So it took a lot of skill and agility, quickness, and mostly timing, because it's about timing, right? Concentration, timing, a lot of skill to be a hurdler. And I can't even believe myself still that I liked hurdling, but I did. I liked it. I liked being able to have a different sense of, I don't know. It was different from running, for me at least. It was different from running. It was, okay, let me show my skill of like every other sport that I played. I played basketball, I played all of these other sports, and like you have to be able to, be agile and run and jump and all of these things in basketball. But like for hurdling, it was just in a focused, fixed time frame, right? But you had to do these things. And I'm a very like logical person. So I like numbers. I like puzzles. I like that stuff. So for me, it was more because of that, right? So one thing that made me be successful in that was to be able to time myself and have the timing accurate just enough for me to be able to jump over that hurdle and successfully jump over that hurdle, especially at my stature. 5'1" is not tall, guys. Is not. So for me to be able to jump over this hurdle was a skill set. Okay. So now that you know that we have to have quickness, flexibility, we have to have power, we have to have speed, we have to have all of these things that come into play, timing, all these things that come into play in order for us to be able to be successful at hurdling, right? Let's go into the attentional theory, right? So distractions. As a hurdler, yikes. If I could describe 3 distractions that I had as a hurdler, would definitely be my coach. Definitely be the people around me, and then myself, right? Because my coach was always yelling, oh, come on, like get to it, get faster, make sure your timing is not, off, whatever, things of that nature. Not only that, look, there was more than 3 distractions, to be honest. Even the gun, when they shot the gun for us to start the race, sometimes when I started the race, it was like, yikes. Oh my God, I already started. But so distractions, the biggest one was myself. Why? Because I would hear those little naysayers and those people that are around me. Oh, you're too short to be a hurdler. You're this, you're that. Your timing is going to be off. Oh, it's raining. Oh, maybe your shoes are too, whatever it was that was in my mind that was distracting me was pretty much the center of my focus and attention. And I would see that in that time frame when I used to do that, that's when I used to be off my game and not really like jump over the hurdle correctly, right? My timing was off. And what happened was that I would have to stop focusing on those things and just focus exactly on what I was doing in that moment, which was also difficult because look, ADHD is a real thing, people. But the best part about myself in that aspect was that I also am technically a perfectionist. So I like to, so if I took 7 steps before I hurdled, that's what I was going to take. And when I would practice, I would literally practice until it was muscle motor memory for me and my muscle, right? So those 3 things that were distracting were not only the coaches and the naysayers outside that made me be in my head, but also the timing, right? And then even having all of those things that didn't really help for my skill set and timing and whatever it is, right? So then here's the thing. So the shift, when I shifted was when I noticed that those things were the things that were distracting me. I shifted my focus on this is the race that I'm going to be in right now. And I am right now, right? And so let me focus and look, practicing and being able to focus and being able to have the agility and power. So that meant that I also, outside of practicing, I had to go and like literally go to the gym or focus on my eating, focus on whatever it was, hydration and things like that, that would help me have a better skill set that my body can actually launch, right, jump over these hurdles, right? And this is what I see also in athletes that I, coach now. A lot of them are afraid of these hurdles, right? You have to not have that fear, because let me tell you how many times I fell. A lot, literally. So one thing that would help in that aspect was for me to change my shift in my thought process, right? For me to have my timing down, and for me to take my skills to another level, not just outside in the field. So to summarize this podcast, okay, because this was really hard. Let me tell you that I had to give this in 7 to 10 minutes. What? I'm literally in 10 minutes in this one, and this is like the second take. I know. And I know it's a lot of the gibberish and jabberish and whatever. And I hope that he doesn't take off points. And if he doesn't, whatever, it's fine. It's cool because look, I thank Dr. K because I'm really excited about this podcast and I'm going to continue to do it. Look, I'm looking professional and everything. Like, I know. I know. Okay. Well, anyway, let me focus. So, okay. To summarize a podcast, attentional theory. It's really whatever it is that's external and internal that is taking you away from the attention of that sport in that moment, right? That's giving you the anxiety in that moment, okay? So for me, externally and internally, whatever was distracting me was whatever it was that other people have already said, right? So then that's internally, I was thinking about those things in that moment. And externally was my coach, the people outside that were watching me, you know what I mean? The weather could also be something that was an external distraction, like, oh my God, am I going to slip? Are the hurdles slippery, things like that, right? But then what changed it and what shifted my thinking and even that shouting was that I started focusing because I practiced, and my timing was better because I practiced. And then not only did I start focusing, I started not being afraid of the hurdles, because I was like, no, I'm going to sit there and show these people that even though I'm 5'1", my stature is pretty short, I'm going to be able to hurdle over these hurdles and jump and have the agility, the power, the stamina, if I even said that right? Okay, I'm not an English major. Anyway, but, right? And I thought about, this is really what I wanted to do, right? I really loved track and field back then. I still love track and field now. And hurdling, even right now, being in the military and fracturing my hip twice is atrocious. So I'm actually going to do all this training to be able to get my glutes right and all of these things, different muscles. And you have to learn your skill set in that aspect too. You have to learn what muscles go with what and what are you using and what you should strengthen, right? And what you should be eating, because that's important too. So summarizing yet again, right? Even after I went off on my tangent, what we need to do is focus on whatever it is that we want to do, right? Focus on the skill set that we know we already have. Muscle memory helps. And then also remember that all of these things that are relevant to your cues that you need to be able to be a good hurdler, just implement that. And then all of that, I promise you, once you have that down packed, your external things that are distracting you would not even distract you anymore. So, all right, guys, I hope that this podcast was good for you to know, especially as a hurdler or runner or even an athlete in general, right? So I'm hoping that you guys got something out of this and why it is that us as athletes, we get a little bit anxious because of our external, environment or whatever's happening in our environment while we're doing the sport that we are doing. And whatever it helped, if it helped a little bit, right? For you to be able to be like, you know what? I need to practice a little more. If I want to be a good hurdler, if I want to go to college, if I want to, take it to the Olympics, whatever level that you want to take it to, right? If that's what you love, even if it's not hurdling, if it's running, football, whatever it may be, just make sure that whatever it is that you need to have as your skill set, timing, the power, the focus, whatever it is, even the muscles that you're using, because let me tell you that those are important, because if I'm not, strengthening my hamstrings, my glutes and all of this other stuff, I am not able to have those power jumps over that hurdle. And I'm going to always hit that hurdle, especially the skills. Hurdle drills are the stuff. So thank you guys for watching this podcast, listening to this podcast, and just being here with me on this sports Sunday. It's a little rainy. And yes, look, the background is not going to be like this all the time because my office right now is getting redone. Yay. But thank you, Dr. K. And I hope that this was enough for the assignment. And if not, well, I guess my grade will tell. I'll let you guys know. Bye.